Welcome to part 2 of our 3-part series entitled The Moneyless Manifesto, Live Well, Live Rich, Live Free. Interview with Mark Boyle. In 2008, Irishman Mark Boyle began living without money in a quest to be more in tune with the natural world. What was meant to last no more than 4 seasons turned into a 3-year experience, earning him the nickname the Moneyless Man. Since, Mark Boyle has published several books about his journey and insights gained. The Moneyless Manifesto, Live Well, Live Rich, Live Free, is an interesting account of his life without money. Throughout the story, Mark offers lots of tips and advice on how you can simultaneously reduce both your dependency on money and your ecological impact, whilst increasing your sense of connection and identity with the people in your community and the land under your feet. More recently, Mark Boyle has been living without technology. As we continue our interview with the progressive author, Mark Boyle shares more about his current lifestyle, as well as his most recent book, The Way Home: Tales from a Life Without Technology.
In recent years, I've moved back to Ireland and I've begun living without technology. So no mobile phone, no electricity, no running water, none of the things we take for granted like washing machines, Wi-Fi connections, none of that. So it's very both simple and complex life. So it kind of just recounts my experiences from giving up all the distractions from the immediate world around us, the people, the places and stuff, because we're all looking at screens half the time. So,
what is a typical day in the life of someone who lives with no technology? Let's hear it from Mark.
Yeah, well, I wake up without a clock, so I have no clocks, no alarm clocks, no phones. So I wake up when my body wants to wake up, usually with the birds singing through the window. From that point, my day has a similar start to most people's, and I go to the toilet. The difference is I probably go under a tree most mornings if it's not too serious. If it's a bit more serious, I'll head towards the compost toilet. And for me, the compost toilet is quite a significant, different approach to how we deal with our waste. For me, if I had a flag, it would be the compost toilet, because instead of seeing life as linear and where you flush your pee and poo off to somewhere else and polluting your water system in the process, you're actually returning your pee and poo into your compost heap, which you then use to grow your fruit and vegetables and so on. So it symbolises a different approach to life, a different perspective. So once that's done, I'll probably head to the spring to collect some water and then come back. From that point onwards, the day changes depending on the weather, depending on my mood, depending on how I'm feeling, what my body wants to do. I might go and collect wood up in the woods, haul that down by hand, saw it up by hand, chop it by hand, stack it by hand, set the fire for the evening. I'll then probably go and do some foraging, do some food growing. I might go and do an interview for Supreme Master TV. Possibly in the afternoon, spend the afternoon writing. If it's a rainy day, I might spend the whole day writing. Put the fire on early, sit, ponder life, have a think about the big existential questions. Where am I going? What am I doing? What's the point of even being here? And I think having no phone, having no email is a real help in that there's no distractions.
Mark Boyle emphasises the importance of taking time to reflect. To help him develop this beneficial habit, he practiced a week of silence.
I find it really important to do something like that, just because I think we talk too much these days. We're very keen to talk and share opinions, and we often aren't listening because we're already constructing the answer before we even hear what the other person said. We're making up in our mind, which is not very good. It affects relationships. They always say 2 ears, 1 mouth. I think it's a good philosophy to follow in life. And so stopping talking for the week really made me go inwards and to kind of think.
We'll take a few moments to enjoy our sacred time of silence with God and return soon here on Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to the Moneyless Manifesto, Live Well, Live Rich, Live Free, Part 2 of 3. Living without money means we have to make some major changes in how we live. We will also need to give up some things like buying things we desire but do not need. The rewards are many as we learn to be more creative to satisfy our necessities, and life is enriched as we become happier and content with what we have. In Mark's case, he enjoys getting his nutrition by foraging for plants.
Foraging is the kind of collection of wild plants. That's how it's commonly perceived. For me, I like to talk about the things that are most common for people. You can go into very obscure plants that no one will have a clue what you're talking about. I try to encourage people to see the things that are readily available around them. So one obvious one is nettles, for example, So I kind of talk more about it's described more as like primitive methods, I don't like the word primitive because it sounds like it's backward or Stone Age, but very, very simple methods in which to live by, It doesn't take anything to harvest nettles, for example. It takes nothing to harvest blackberries. They're readily available around you.
As Mark Boyle explains in his books, by leading a simple lifestyle that is more in harmony with nature, he is able to cherish the present and feel more connected to all living beings.
I think our expectations of what our life should be made up of has changed. We now expect everything to be very comfortable, everything to be very convenient and easy. I think there's a big cost in that, ecologically speaking first, but also in terms of our own relationship with the natural world. At every moment we're trading comfort with our sense of aliveness, so you can very easily spend a very long life feeling very comfortable and very unalive. Lethargic, just sedated, just come in and hit a button, job's done. My life right now without technology, plenty of times it's not comfortable at all. But I remember coming back one night on a bicycle, maybe 10 o'clock at night. I hadn't got any food, was quite hungry. The rain was beating off me, the wind was beating off me. I was cold, I was hungry, I was tired, and I felt completely alive. Felt like this is what it actually means to be an animal. It's not sitting in front of a TV necessarily and flicking the switches. That's just a way of sedating ourselves from the immediate experience of life. If you look at wild animals, they're very alert. They've got shorter lives, but they live for every single moment. I look at birds, they're alive at every single moment of their lives. They're mindful through economic necessity. I just think when any of us are at our peak, when we're feeling fully tapped into source, where we're connected to all living things, I think there's going to be more tendency towards beauty in that, with that connection.
For more information on Mark Boyle's books, please visit permanentpublications.co.uk and oneworld-